Do you feel like you are in a rut right now? Do you feel like you're in a place in life where everything just feels like it's super shitty and it sucks? And it's like no matter what you're doing to get yourself out of it, you feel like you just can't think positively. You can't see the good in it all. Well, if you feel like that, I'm so glad that you're in this video and you're watching this video. You're not in this video, you are watching this video. But I'm so glad that you are here because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what you need to do in order to get yourself out of a rut and get yourself into a state of positivity again. Because the more that you can spend your time being in a positive, feel good state, the more that you attract and pull in everything that you want in your life. So, I was actually in a place like this a couple of months ago, right? So it happens to us all. And you will go through periods and phases of your life where you feel like you're in a rut. The most important thing, though, that you can focus on and remember is that you need to get yourself out of this rut and out of this place ASAP and get yourself back to a place of positivity and feeling good, because it's from that place where you build big, bold, beautiful things in your life. So the first step that I really want you to focus on and do is I need you to take 100% radical responsibility for your life and why you got yourself into this spot in the first place. I'm not going to tell you to blame external situations, circumstances, blame someone else. The truth is that you got yourself here, because what ends up happening, and this is what happened to me a couple of months ago, is that we usually find ourselves in a rut because some sort of big external life situation, circumstance essentially comes our way. We don't necessarily have the capacity to handle it. And as a result of that, we stop doing things to take care of ourselves. And when we stop doing things to take care of ourselves, we find ourselves in a spot where we feel like everything feels shitty. We feel like life sucks. And it's just overall a really, really sucky place to be in. And it's important that you take 100% radical responsibility, because when you do that, when you realize that you are the person that got yourself here, regardless of whatever circumstance you went through, you also realize that you're the person that can get yourself out of it. And we're no longer, waiting for some sort of person to come down and save us. We become our own savior. And this is why it's so important for you to actually take radical responsibility of your life. I want you to be the hero of your life. I want you to be the savior of yourself in your life. I don't want you to sit around and moping around waiting for someone else to come, show you the way and tell you how to move forward. Because when we expect other people to do that for us, we always end up staying in a really awful and terrible spot, because no one's going to come do that for you. You have to do that for you. Okay? So stop being the victim. Yes, I know you're in a sucky, shitty place where it feels like everything in your life is horrible, and I know that's not the best place to be in, but take responsibility, accept that you got yourself there, and let's talk about how you actually get yourself the heck out of there. So once you've taken radical responsibility, right, swallowed the pill of responsibility, next what I want you to do is I want you to reflect on, what did you do that got you into this spot of feeling like a rut? And I'm not talking necessarily about your external circumstances, because sometimes, things happen to us in life that are just completely outside of our control. But what causes us to end up in a place where we feel like we're in a rut is because of the action steps that we take when we're in this spot. And usually what ends up happening is that we stop showing up for ourselves in a positive and powerful way. And as a result of that, we end up being in a place where we are in a rut, essentially. So you really need to ask yourself, what are the action steps, thought patterns, habits that you essentially implemented, embodied during this time that caused you to end up in this spot? So I can tell you from my experience, a couple of months ago when I found myself in a rut, I started spending my money in poor places. Right? So I was going out a lot more, eating out a lot more, just not being conscious when it comes to spending my money, which I usually am. I found myself eating a lot more junk food and not really taking care of my body. I found myself not exercising as much, and I would skip my workouts or find some excuse to just not do them. I was watching a lot more Netflix. I wasn't reaching out to my support system or talking to people. I wasn't really taking positive action at work. Now I'm just like, what the heck was I even doing at that time, right? I wasn't even doing any of the things I was supposed to be doing. I was honestly moping around a lot and not really working as much as I should be working. So those are, all the things that I did that got me in that spot of feeling like I was in a rut. And I actually took some time a couple of months ago to make this list. And I wrote down all the things. I even wrote down, what are the beliefs that are coming up this time? because your beliefs essentially form your thoughts, which essentially form your action steps, and those action steps are what create your reality. I even wrote down, what are some negative beliefs coming up right now? What are some negative thoughts about my life coming up right now? Are there old habits and patterns coming up that I need to be aware of? And they definitely were coming up. So I reflected on all these things, and I wrote all of these things down on what I was doing that, essentially got me into this space where I felt like I was in a rut. And so reflecting on these things really opened my eyes up to everything that I was doing that was keeping me in this bad spot. And what's really powerful about this exercise, right, is that you might not be able to change your external circumstances, and you might not be able to shift like anything that's happening to you externally. But when we can take a step back and become real and honest with ourselves as to everything that we are doing that's keeping us stuck in this spot, it completely changes everything for us, and it completely changes the way that we actually show up in this situation. And it'll also give you the awareness as to what do you need to let go of? What are the habits that you need to break out of? What are the opposite action steps you need to take so you can get yourself out of this rut? So once I realized that, I've been eating a lot of junk food, let me get back to eating healthy. I haven't exercised, let me go work out right now. I haven't talked to any of my friends. Let me call someone close to me right now and express to them and talk to them about how I've been feeling. So when you can become aware of everything that you're doing that's keeping you stuck in this spot, you can take the opposite action that's going to actually help you get out of this space, which is a really powerful place to be in. Now, the second thing that I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, what is the meaning that you gave this situation? Because you chose to give this situation a specific meaning, the situation is affecting you and impacting you in that way. And one of the easiest and best ways to get out of a rut is to completely change up the meaning that you're giving situations. Because when we change the meaning that we give situations, it completely changes the way that these situations affect us and impact us. This is why this exercise and habit is just so, so powerful. So for example, if you go through a breakup, a lot of us, that we have the thought patterns and beliefs and meanings that, no one's ever gonna love me again. I'm never gonna find anybody who's gonna appreciate me the same way again. Or, this is just gonna be the best that it gets, and I'm gonna, grow old and be a crazy cat lady, right? Or if we lose a job, it's like, it's gonna be so hard to find a job like that. I'm gonna be poor. I'm never gonna be able to get the financial freedom that I want. Or if you have health problems, it's like, my body sucks and I'll never be healthy and I'll never be strong. I'll never be fit or look like how I actually wanna look, right? So these are the meanings that we give these situations, and it's like, no wonder these situations affect us and impact us in such an awful way. So I want you to ask yourself, what's a new meaning that you can give this situation? I do this work all the time with my patients, and we have so much fun with it, because I'm just like, give this situation any freaking meaning that you want, as long as that meaning affects you in a positive way. That is all that matters at the end of the day. And when we choose to give situations new meanings so that they impact us and affect us in a positive way, it completely changes the way that situation affects us. So if you go through a breakup, instead of it being like, oh my God, I'm never going to find anyone again, it's going to be like, oh my God, I'm so excited because my next relationship is going to be that much better. Or if you lose a job, it's like, yes, it's sucking, it sucks, but I'm so excited because my next job is going to be that much better. I'm so excited because now that I've lost this job, I can start my own business venture or look at a different opportunity to grow and learn in a new way. If you experience a health problem, it's just like, okay, this means that I get an opportunity to take care of my body in a really healthy way and to prioritize my health, which honestly I had not been doing because I was so busy and caught up in everything else. And when you change the meaning that you give a situation, it completely changes the way the situation affects you. And don't hold yourself back. Be as delusional as you want to be. Give the situation any meaning that you want to give it, right? Because this is just internal for you. We're not sharing this meaning with anybody else. We're not telling anybody else what this meaning is. This is all internally for you. So you go ahead and believe whatever you want to believe about a situation, as long as it makes you feel good about yourself. That is all that matters at the end of the day. And this is how you do it. This is how you get yourself out of a rut. And this is literally how simple it is to get yourself out of a rut. One, you change the meaning you give the situation. And two, you change how you're showing up, and you continue to show up for yourself and take care of yourself regardless of the challenge that's happening to you in your life. Because what happens to a lot of us, a challenge comes up, we forget about ourselves. We stop prioritizing ourselves and our needs. And as a result of that, we can't actually move through this challenge in a powerful way. And because of that, we find ourselves stuck in a rut where it feels like life is shitty. Life isn't shitty. You just need to learn how to work through this challenge in a powerful way. And you do that by supporting yourself, by taking care of yourself. That is how you truly do that. So change the meaning to something that impacts you positively. Change how you're showing up in this situation, and you will get out of this rut so fast. Because this is exactly the same strategy I used to help myself get out of the rut that I was in a couple of months ago. Okay, so you got this. Thanks so much for being here. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.